Welcome to Buy, Hold, Sell. My name's Matthew Kidman, and today we have Ben Clark from TMS Capital, Ben Rundle from NAOS, and we're talking about the darlings, the good-looking stocks that everyone chases everywhere and have got very high multiples. Start first in the telco area. Vocus, been a great Pac-Man of the industry, eating up everything. Buy, hold or sell, Ben?
I'd have a buy on this one, Matthew. I think the acquisition of NextGen gives them the missing link in the infrastructure that they've needed. It's going to open a lot more cross-selling opportunities for the group. The share price has pulled back a bit because they're doing a reasonable sized capital raising, so I think it's a good opportunity to get into the stock.
Buy, hold or sell, Ben?
Buy for me also, Matthew. I think there's three reasons you buy this. First of all, the NBN will create a customer churn event where you have to go from the old copper network over to the NBN, and people like Telstra I think might lose customers to the Vocuses and TPGs of the world who are undercutting on price. Utilisation, the core business is excellent and it continues to grow, and also I think there's some cost out to come from the acquisitions they've done of M2, Amcom and NextGen as well. When you have a business like this, once you get to scale, you do have a lot of operating leverage.
Okay, cancer, big global market. Certec's done terrifically well in carving out its niche. Buy, hold or sell?
It's a buy for us, we own it. Look, in June they had a few operational issues. We've spoken to the company since that time, and we think they're transient in nature. I think the current price probably doesn't allow for any upside from the clinical trials either. So, if nothing happens there, the underlying business is going very well too, so it's a buy.
You've got to have a fair bit of belief with something like Certec. Buy, hold or sell, Ben?
Yeah, we believe in it, we own it as well. I've got a buy in it. Look, I think just in the core salvage market, they're still sort of high single digits in terms of penetration. They're growing at sort of 30% plus per annum in terms of their earnings on the back of that. The dosage sale numbers were a bit underwhelming, but in the US, 19.2% dosage sales growth was very strong. And then you've got the blue sky of the upcoming trials this year, so it's a buy for mine.
We all like niche businesses that aren't crowded.
Yep.
Media Data Group by Centennial was a darling. It's come back a bit. Buy, hold or sell?
Yeah, I mean, this is an example, I think, of a business that has come back. It's a great quality business and it's a good buy in this market. They've got a really good recurring revenue, fairly mature Australian business, but they're doing a good job cross-selling a social media business to all of those companies. It's very sticky. And then, of course, the push into Asia. They've got a very experienced CEO who's been running that company for a couple of decades, I think, now. So he's done a great job. So I reckon it's a buy.
I send you out, costs are going up. It's a bit harder for them. Buy, hold or sell?
I think it's a hold. It's still priced. I mean, Ben's right. It is a very high quality business, but growth in Australia is moderating. They're now having to go and try and find that growth offshore, which we've seen other Australian companies do that, and there's a fair bit of risk around it. So I think it's a hold.
Okay, healthy milk. A2, we should all be drinking it. Buy, hold or sell as a stock?
I think A2 is probably a hold as well. It's very expensive. I think they'll probably have a favourable margin mix with the infant formula business. There's probably some upside if they can turn the US and the UK business profitable, but it is expensive, so hold for now. Okay,
Ben, happy to pay the extra for the A2 milk out of the cabinet in the supermarket. What about the stock? Buy, hold or sell?
Yeah, I reckon it's a buy, Matthew. It's had 4 profit upgrades through 2015-16. And despite, I think the thing holding this back is the concern over the Chinese regulatory changes. The company sort of advised, yes, they're happening, and we do think over the next 6 to 12 months there could be some impact on their sales growth. But ultimately, the end consumer wants these products, and I think if you've got an appropriate time horizon, you still do pretty well buying the stock.
Okay, generic drugs, big market,
yep.
Great opportunity, one big player in Australia, Mayne Pharma. Buy, hold or sell?
I'd have a hold on Mayne Pharma. I mean, the acquisition looks amazing on paper, but it's a very big acquisition for them versus their current market cap. There's a lot of execution that will need to go through for it to sort of deliver on what they're hoping, and there's a huge capital raising being done now at $1.28. A lot of funds apparently are fairly overweight already. They're going to be even more overweight, so there might be some stock come to market, and I think if you get on a dip it'd be a buy, but for now it's a hold. 3 or 4 years ago we didn't know Mayne Pharma. Now it's a big stock in the small stock index. Buy, hold or sell?
I think it's a sell. So the stock had a great run on the back of the acquisition. I do think it was a good acquisition, highly EPS accretive, which is the reason for the run in the share price. But I don't think the market is pricing in enough execution risk, as well as the extra money that will have to be invested in R&D into 17. So I think 17 potentially turns into a bit of an investment year. It's priced quite expensively, so I think it's a sell.
So not all darlings are that beautiful when you get up very close to them.